Hey guys, my name is Chris Sly, and I wanted to kind of show you guys what I have going on for my touring rig. I do two really different things in my when I'm out on the road. A lot of times I'm going in and I'm playing worship nights with churches. I'm going in and I'm playing with their band. Typically I play electric guitar for those. And then there's the nights where I go in and it's just me and a guitar. And so I want to have an acoustic-y sort of thing, but I needed a rig that was going to be able to pull off both. And so what I've been working on for the last few months is kind of building out and kind of solidifying what I felt like really worked for what I do. Because when I go in and I play with a band, I want to be able to play, kind of have my normal sounds for electric guitar. And then when I'm going in and playing acoustic, which in most sets I'm doing some sort of solo thing, I don't want it to look weird. I think it always looks weird when you see just a guy and an electric guitar. And so I want to have something that kind of alludes to being that that acoustic sort of thing, but isn't quite, and it's easier to travel with. Carrying an electric guitar and an acoustic guitar in one case can get really difficult really fast, especially when you're carrying on most of the time when you're flying. So this rig kind of pulls off everything that I need. I start with the pedal board. I'll show you the guitars, and then I'll show you bias amp, which is what I run into my MacBook Air, which I have running a couple of snapshots in bias. So let's start with the pedal board over here. We have a very small pedal board. I've got 4 pedals on the board. I go into the HX effects, and then I have these two pedals are in the first loop of the HX effects. I've got the Prince of Tone and the Pog 2. It comes back, and then it comes into HX, and then out to the Big Sky, and then out to my interface, which goes into bias amp, and then back out to a direct box and all that sort of out to the board, out to the soundboard. So with my electric rig, this is what I've got here, is my electric rig. And I typically am running going into a matchless 30 in bias amp, and that sounds like this with just clean. Let's turn off all the effects. Here we go. As you can hear, it's right on the edge of breakup. It's got just a little bit of grit to it. So when I turn on the Prince of Tone, it sounds like this. All right. So if I want a little bit more grit, I'm going to add in the clone here, which is called the Minotaur on the HX effects. And then if I want even more tone, I'm going to turn on the Deranged Master, which is based on the old Dallas Range Master. I'm going to come off the bridge pickup, go to the neck, and add in a little bit of delay. So as you can hear, that Deranged Master adds a little bit of grit and a little bit of presence. If I want just a little bit of chorus, I typically will turn off the Prince of Tone, come down to sort of a clean sound, go to the middle setting, and then what I've got going on the Big Sky is I've got my regular sort of plate, which is here. And then here's my cloud, which is kind of my normal sort of lead setting. It's pretty long. And then here's the swell. As you can hear, that goes on for quite a bit. So let me show you the acoustic setting real quick. We're going to go over to the acoustic. I'm going to mute this out so I can switch out guitars. Give me just a second. I'm switching to my 1966. Oh, to my 1966 Century model Epiphone, and basically that is gonna sound like this, and this is through the acoustic simulator here. Here it is. Now, I will typically have like a little bit of delay on there. Let's go up to 120. Here we go. I typically will have just a little bit of chamber reverb, and then if I want more, I will add in the Ganymede. Now you may ask why I have on the acoustic setting, why I have reverbs if I have the Big Sky. It's because sometimes I do looping. This is a looper. It gives you full range of the line 6 looper, which is great. And so sometimes I want to put the reverb before the looper, and this is the best way to do that. If I want to add in the you know, the POG, I can do that. Right? So that's kind of my setup. I do just about